After a long wait, the Hyundai i20N hot hatch is finally here. About a year ago, we track tested an early pre-production prototype that was still in development. Today we're back at the same circuit to test the showroom version and to take it for a road drive. Let's check it out. Meet the Hyundai i20N, the Korean car maker's first pint-sized hot hatch. It's the smaller sibling to the Hyundai i30N, which is a Volkswagen Golf GTI rival. The i20N is designed to compete with the Ford Fiesta ST, Volkswagen Polo GTI and Suzuki Swift Sport. In the right hands and in the right conditions, the Hyundai i20N has shown itself to be faster around a racetrack than the regular version of the Toyota GR Yaris, and it's a fraction of the price. In Australia, we get one model. Priced from $32,490 plus on-road costs, it's about the same as a Ford Fiesta ST and a Volkswagen Polo GTI, and significantly cheaper than a Toyota GR Yaris. So, will the Hyundai i20N create the same instant hype from hot hatch fans? We're about to find out. The i20N is the performance version of the i20 hatch sold in Europe. The regular i20 is no longer sold in Australia because the market for city hatchbacks is declining. In the same way Ford Australia only sells the Fiesta ST, Hyundai Australia is only offering the i20N. In another coincidence, both of these hot hatches are only available with 6-speed manual transmissions, the last of a dying breed. As you might expect, Hyundai has made sure the i20N has all the important ingredients for its fun city-sized hot hatch, starting with a potent engine in a small lightweight package. In this case, it has a 1.6-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder pumping out a healthy 150 kilowatts and 275 newton metres, paired to a 6-speed manual gearbox that drives the front wheels. A mechanical limited slip differential and grippy Pirelli tyres, developed especially for this car, help provide cornering grip. Meanwhile, big brakes, 320mm discs up front and 260mm discs at the rear, deliver excellent stopping power. And as we would discover, the brakes are able to cop a lot of punishment on a racetrack. Sports-tuned suspension and a lightweight body help complete the key ingredients. The Hyundai i20N tips the scales between 1,210 and 1,235 kilograms, while the Ford Fiesta ST splits the difference at 1,218 kilograms. Although it's still early days, these featherweight champions look destined to become fierce rivals. Hyundai has sweat the details inside too, with a grippy steering wheel, alloy pedal covers, sports seats, and 2 widescreen digital displays, one for the instrument cluster and the other for infotainment. The infotainment screen also unlocks a range of sport modes, including track maps and built-in lap timing. There's also personalised settings for throttle response, exhaust note and stability control. A digital tab on the screen activates launch control, and a bright red button on the steering wheel unlocks rev matching technology for perfect downshifts. The settings inside the driving menu seem endless, and the instrument cluster has a range of display settings. But of course, it's how it drives that really matters. To put the i20N through its paces, we're back at Wakefield Park Raceway, where we sampled a prototype of the i20N a year ago. The last time we drove this car, it was a pre-production prototype. If anything, it's only gotten better. The way it hugs corners, I know that's a cliche, but it really does. You can feel the grip. It's just so agile and responsive. The gear ratios are just perfectly matched to Wakefield Park. This is a great circuit for this car. This thing is so much fun to drive. Oh, I think I'm going to have to buy one. Hyundai has really put the finishing touches on this car. This is an absolute blast. The brakes can handle the punishment. The tyres have really consistent grip. And the exhaust burble, which was a bit quiet on the pre-production car, it's opened up just a little. If you're a hot hatch fan, you will love this car. Badge snobs might dismiss this car because of the Hyundai badge, but that's their loss. If I've got any criticism of this car, it's that it's probably better suited as a track weapon than a day-to-day road car. But for hot hatch fans, that's a great result. Having exhausted ourselves before we wore out the car, it was time to hit the road. The preview drive covered mostly back roads, though we did go through some residential areas and encountered the occasional speed bump to get an insight into how it handles the daily grind. On the road, the Hyundai i20N is still a ball of fun. It is just a thrill to drive. At 100 kilometers an hour in 6th gear, it's ticking along at about 2400 RPM, which is a touch high, and that shows you this is very much a gearing car. And we've been getting about 8 to 9 litres per 100, which is also a touch on the high side, but we have been enjoying it as well. We even got to sample the i20N on bumpy dirt across some roadworks, and it wasn't unbearable. But then when the road opens up, away we go. Yeah. I love that rev matching technology. It works so well. You know what? I think I could drive this in the daily commute. Of course, as good as the Hyundai i20N is, no car is perfect. As you might expect, there's a bit of tyre roar on coarse chip country roads. The suspension's a bit busy, though not bone jarring. There's a little bit of rev hang, which means the revs stay a touch too high for a bit too long after you've changed gears. And there's a tiny bit of turbo lag. Not cordia turbo bad, but just a little bit more than you might expect. You don't notice it on a racetrack, but you might notice it on the road. But if you're a hot hatch fan, you're going to love this car. Then it was time to test Hyundai's 0 to 100 performance claim. A 6.2 second time sounded a bit ambitious to us, so we were keen to run VBox numbers. Okay, activate launch control, hit start on the VBox. It's holding at 4,000. Oh, that's a lot of spin. That is way too much wheel spin. I can already smell the rubber in the car. And, yeah, that was ordinary. 7.6 seconds. Let's try that again. You know what? I'm going to try it without launch control this time. I reckon I can do better if I feed the throttle on a bit. That didn't feel quick, but at least we didn't sit there and wheel spin. 7.3 seconds. We've got to do better than that. They're claiming 6.2. I don't know how they did 6.2, but we're going to give it another go. And I've just checked against the VBox. It does 99 kilometers an hour in 2nd gear. That's 99 kilometers an hour on the dot. The speedo in the car will show 101 or 102, but to get a 0 to 100 time GPS, we need to grab 3rd gear. This is without traction control. VBox is on. That's the best start I've had so far. That was smooth. That was just over 3,000, feeding on the throttle as we go, and 7.3 seconds again. Seriously. All right, I'll try it this time, leaving it in 2nd, and see if it trips the 100 kilometer an hour mark. Okay, we're going to leave it in 2nd. See if we get there. No, I won't do it. It won't trip the VBox at 100 kilometers an hour in 2nd gear on the GPS. You have to grab 3rd. Missed it by that much. So it's not a 6.2 second car today, but it's still an amazing hot hatch. We'll have to give it another go another time. Of course, hot hatches aren't just about 0 to 100, it's just one measure of performance. But to be a second away from their official performance claim makes me wonder how they got there. Would I still own one? Absolutely. While we look forward to retesting the 0 to 100 claim at a later date, our first impressions of the i20N are good. It's a ripper on a racetrack and livable around town, especially if you're a hot hatch fan. But our main takeaway from this is that we're lucky to have a car like this at all. The i20N could be the first and last analogue pint-sized hot hatch from Hyundai, because the next one of these will likely be hybrid or electric. We reckon it's time to enjoy it while you can.